How's it going? I'm here to talk to you today about the fair tax. Nick Rodgers. You can say I have my visual aid, fairtax.org, to where you can go to get more information. So let me get started. Have you ever thought to yourself why we get taxed so much money and then wondered there has to be a better way? Well, I'm here to tell you that there is. And it's called the fair tax. So, over the next few minutes, I'll talk to you today about the fair tax, what it is, how it works, and I will describe to you some benefits that the fair tax offers to Americans. The fair tax. Basically what the fair tax is, it takes the place of the standard income tax system under the 16th Amendment, and it replaces that by charging Americans a standard 23% consumption tax across the board on purchases made. Therefore, it generates the same amount of revenue as the current income tax system. It's just, instead of taxing income, you're taxed based off purchases. Therefore, it gives you the power to choose when you're taxed and how much you're taxed. So let's talk about some of the benefits. One I just touched on is the fact that your income is not taxed. You bring home 100% of your standard income. After that, if you choose to purchase something, whether it be a car, a TV, food, whatever, you're charged a standard consumption tax. Based off that and a fair tax, it generates savings and investment, because you have the power to choose when you're taxed. By the fair tax also leads to savings and investments, which leads to job growth. The fair tax allows low and middle income families to get ahead by saving or choosing to save the amount of income that would normally be taken from them in taxes, therefore allowing them to save for large purchases such as houses, retirement, or children's education. And also, by going to a fair tax as opposed to the income tax system, you would restore $265 million back to the economy annually by getting rid of the IRS and what they estimate they spend every year in compliance codes by trying to keep people in compliance with the income tax system and doing their income taxes by April 15th. Some additional benefits. One, the fair tax is fair. Every American, regardless of income, has to pay a standard 23% consumption tax. No longer will drug dealers, illegal immigrants, or welfare recipients be able to evade the tax system like they currently do under the income tax. They will also have to contribute. Even tourists under the fair tax system become taxpayers through consumption. Anybody that makes a purchase in the United States becomes a taxpayer because they pay the generalized 23% consumption tax. Alright, a fair tax would also make American goods more competitive, both overseas and domestic. The reason it does this is because without taxes, the current income tax system taxes every aspect of business, therefore making production and manufacturing more expensive, which means the end result, higher prices, which makes it less competitive overseas. A fair tax system reduces the prices and makes it more competitive overseas and domestic. No longer would you have to pay an arm and a leg for a product that's made in the USA. Under the fair tax system, because production is cheaper, even with a 23% sales tax, you will have a current market price with the US product, or made in the USA product, that you currently pay today. Also, the fair tax is tax neutral. which means it generates the same amount of revenue that the current income tax system does, and it does not impede government's ability to function. It is also a regressive tax, which means that it offers rebates to low-income families for necessities and things like that. Seems how they would still have to pay the same generalized 23% consumption tax as a millionaire would. So there's a rebate for them for necessities, so they can still choose to save and get ahead on their income. The fair tax also protects and ensures government programs such as Social Security and Medicare. So, to reiterate some of the main benefits, the fair tax is easy to understand and it's fair. You keep 100% of your income and you can choose when you're taxed and how much you pay in tax. Also, it makes American goods and products more competitive both overseas and domestic. It doesn't affect the way government functions, it is a regressive tax, and it protects funding for government programs such as Social Security and Medicare. So, if you want a system where Americans have the power to choose when they're taxed and how much they're taxed, you can learn more at fairtax.org and learn how you can make America better. Thank you.
Yay!